Note, the T5H0 fixture should not be used as a raceway. The T5H0 fixture, often found as a recessed trofeo with a metal housing and plastic diffuser, is designed solely for illumination purposes. It's important to understand the function of a raceway in electrical systems. A raceway serves as an enclosed channel designed and approved for holding wires, cables, or bus bars. Raceways protect these conductors from physical damage, environmental factors, and provide a safe path for electrical distribution. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is very specific about what can be used as a raceway. Using equipment not listed or identified for the purpose violates NEC requirements. Think of conduits like electrical metallic tubing, or IMT, rigid metal conduit, or RMC, intermediate metal conduit, or EMC, and flexible metal conduit, or FMC. These are examples of approved raceways. Cable trays are also approved for specific applications. The NEC outlines acceptable wiring methods in Chapter 3. Article 300.3b addresses the integrity of completed circuits. This section states that wiring methods shall be installed so that the completed circuit is without impedance. The intention of this is to prevent unsafe conditions. The specific requirements for raceways are detailed in Article 300 and Chapter 3. These requirements cover materials, installation methods, and allowable fill. Allowable fill refers to the percentage of the raceway's cross-sectional area that can be occupied by conductors. This is critical to prevent overheating and ensure proper heat dissipation. Using a light fixture as a raceway can create several hazards. Firstly, light fixtures are typically not designed to handle the additional weight and physical stress of multiple conductors running through them. This could lead to structural failure of the fixture. Secondly, the internal wiring and components of the fixture may not be rated for the increased heat generated by additional conductors. This can cause the insulation and the wires to break down, leading to short circuits and potential fires. Thirdly, the fixture may not provide adequate protection against physical damage to the conductors. This is especially important in areas where the fixture is exposed to impact or vibration. Fourthly, using the fixture as a raceway makes it difficult to access and maintain the electrical system. This can lead to delays and increased costs when troubleshooting or making repairs. Fifthly, modifications to electrical equipment that void the listing of the equipment are in violation of NEC Article 110.3b. This article requires listed or labeled equipment to be installed and used in accordance with any instructions included in a listing or labeling. If a light fixture is not listed as a raceway, you cannot use it as one. Article 314 covers outlet, device, pole, and junction boxes, conduit bodies, fittings, and handle enclosures. These components are designed for specific purposes, such as terminating conduits, providing access to conductors, or protecting splices. They are not intended to be used as general-purpose raceways. The NEC provides specific guidelines for the installation of conductors in raceways. These guidelines cover factors such as conductor size, ampacity, and dating. Dating is the process of reducing the ampacity of a conductor to account for factors such as ambient temperature and the number of conductors in a raceway. Using a light fixture as a raceway makes it difficult to comply with these guidelines. Article 310.15 covers ampacity of conductors. Ampacity is the current, in amps, that a conductor can carry continuously under the conditions of use without exceeding its temperature rating. This is a critical factor in ensuring the safe operation of electrical systems. Overcurrent protection is another key aspect of electrical safety. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect conductors and equipment from overloads and short circuits. Article 240 covers overcurrent protection. Using a light fixture as a raceway can compromise the effectiveness of overcurrent protection. Grounding is also essential for electrical safety. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, which helps to trip over current protection devices and prevent electrical shock hazards. Article 250 covers grounding and bonding. Using a light fixture as a raceway can interfere with proper grounding and bonding. In summary, using a light fixture as a raceway is a violation of the NEC and can create significant safety hazards. It's important to use only approved raceways for routing electrical wires. Always consult the NEC and other applicable codes and standards when designing and installing electrical systems. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it's crucial to stay current with the latest requirement. If you have any questions about electrical safety or code compliance, consult a qualified electrical contractor or engineer. They can provide expert guidance and ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant. When dealing with electrical systems, it is always best to err on the side of caution and seek professional advice. This can help prevent accidents, injuries, and property damage. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions. Always to energize circuits before working on them, and use appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses. Consider the physical location of the light fixture. Is it in a damp or wet location? If so, the wiring method must be suitable for that environment. Is the fixture subject to physical damage? If so, the wiring method must provide adequate protection. The NEC provides specific requirements for wiring in different types of locations. These requirements are designed to minimize the risk of electrical hazards. For example, wiring in wet locations must be suitable for continuous immersion in water. Wiring in hazardous locations must be explosion-proof or intrinsically safe. The type of occupancy also affects the wiring requirement. For example, hospitals and healthcare facilities have more stringent requirements than residential occupancies. This is because of the increased risk of electrical shock hazards in these facilities. The NEC also covers emergency systems. Emergency systems are designed to provide power to essential equipment during a power outage. These systems must be installed and maintained in accordance with specific requirements. The NEC is a complex and comprehensive document. It's important to have a thorough understanding of the code before designing or installing electrical systems. If you are not familiar with the NEC, it's best to consult a qualified electrical contractor or engineer. They can help you ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following the NEC and other applicable codes and standards, you can help prevent accidents, injuries, and property damage. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. Electrical safety is a critical aspect of any construction or renovation project. It's important to ensure that all electrical work is performed by qualified professionals and that all materials and equipment meet the requirements of the NEC. A proper understanding of the NEC helps to prevent electrical hazards. Before undertaking any electrical work, it's essential to obtain the necessary permits and inspections. This helps to ensure that the work is performed in accordance with the NEC and other applicable codes. Inspections are typically performed by local building officials. They will review the plans and inspect the work to ensure that it meets all applicable requirements. If any violations are found, the contractor will be required to correct them before the project can be approved. Obtaining permits and inspections is not only a legal requirement, but it also helps to ensure the safety of the building and its occupants. It's important to choose a qualified electrical contractor for any electrical work. A qualified contractor will have the necessary training, experience, and licenses to perform the work safely and in accordance with the NEC. When choosing a contractor, be sure to check their references and ensure that they are properly insured. A reputable contractor will be happy to provide you with this information. It's also a good idea to get multiple bids before hiring a contractor. This will help you to ensure that you are getting a fair price for the work. Be sure to compare the bids carefully and don't just choose the lowest bidder. Consider the contractor's qualifications, experience, and reputation.